Thanks, guys, for joining us. Questions for the Illinois student athletes, please.
KJ, Joey Wright at the Champaign News-Gazette. Just curious, what have you heard from friends, family back home in Lithuania over the last few weeks going into the NCAA tournament here?
Not a lot, to be honest. I talk to my parents, to my family every day, and everybody knows that it's a very exciting tournament, very important games, and every game matters, so you win or you go home. So I only got more motivation to play in this tournament.
Teague, Chicago State of Mind Sports, Trey. Just a question for you. It seems like you and Kylan have really embraced the leadership role. Just wanted to know how Coach Underwood has kind of helped you embrace that and kind of dig into that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. With the culture of the team, it starts with Brad, but us being one of the older guys, and we got a lot of key players on this team, just trying to give our wisdom and experience, to try to make us go as far as we can. So definitely stepping more into that.
Trey, Serena Ramboyne at WHAS 11 right here. You came and played at Louisville and now facing Kentucky. Is there anything that still has that rivalry burning in you?
Not really. It's just another game for us that's a must-win for us. We're not trying to look too far ahead or get worried about any other team. Really just standing on our principles, and we try to get those looks each game.
Tomislav, Steve McGargay, Associated Press. What drew you to Illinois in the first place when you decided to come here from going overseas?
I would say a huge part of that was assistant coach Orlando, and just the program itself. I wanted to be in a place where I will have the opportunity to play, to develop my game, show what I know, what I can do, and just to be somewhere where I have the chance to win, to be in a good spot, and just to fight for the wins.
KJ or Tommy, just to follow up on earlier, Brad talked about yesterday how you guys have played in big games before back home overseas. I guess how do these games specifically kind of compare to some of those big stages you've been on back home?
So I think we both played pretty important games back in Europe, but every game is different. Every game matters, and especially here in March Madness, every detail matters in the game. Every stop, every rebound. So we just try to execute and try to use that little experience we got overseas to here.
Question for KJ and Tommy. Just want to get you guys' thoughts on just your first experience of playing in March Madness.
Yeah, it was great, and I just didn't expect that a lot of Illinois fans gonna come, and just a great atmosphere overall from both sides. Great energy in the arena, both teams fighting, and just to know that if you win, you go next. If you lose, you go home. With that mentality, just great to be there.
For the three of you, I know that there's been a lot made of how you guys responded to the Duke game a few weeks ago, and you're getting humbled the way you did. I guess, was there ever a feeling like this team could break from that it could, just too much to bear, losing a game like that, being probably embarrassed in some way on national television? And if so, how did you guys get through that and rally the way you guys have in this season?
I think that that loss helped us a lot in all different ways, especially starting in practices. We were more dialed in every practice, executing more, having more energy, and staying hungry to just show who we really are. And I think that game just let us keep getting better, keep improving, and try to execute more.
Just one for the three of you quickly. Did yesterday feel like a home game with the crowd, and just with Milwaukee being so much closer to Champaign than some of the other sites, or where the other locations for where the other teams are, do you feel tomorrow might be a quasi-home game too as well?
Yeah, most definitely. We felt it even before the game started. Coming in for layup lines, they chanting, our school chant. That definitely, lit a fire under us too. And for the opposing teams, I'm sure that has to be, frustrating and draining to see the whole arena, going against you. So it's definitely a blessing for us, and looking forward for tomorrow.
Tommy, I know your brother has a connection at Kentucky, but when I was speaking with the players, they mentioned how similar your playing styles are. I was wondering what you think about that and just how you think you can differentiate yourself from maybe what Big Blue Nation is used to seeing.
Yeah, a lot of people say we're similar, but there's also a lot of different things in our game. We both have a soft hand, good touch. I would say he's better rim protector. I play more physical, and but there's a lot of other similarities. We moved similarly on the court, and but I would say the main differences are his defense and being able to block more shots, to be more present at the rim, and from my side, just to play more in low post, be more physical on that end.
Tyler Thompson, Kentucky Sports Radio. Tommy, this is also for you. Similar question. Your brother's playing in a pretty big game right now, too. I was curious, how often have you all talked this week, and what was his reaction when he found out you're playing Kentucky?
Yeah, we talk every day, but I wouldn't say his reaction was anything special. He wished me luck, and that we can play good against them, that we can win that game. And it's just, how would I say, business, no emotions on that side. So just another game to play and to give our best.
For Tommy, I just wondered how much of an adjustment was it playing in the States, just adjusting to life in Illinois, and all three leading scorers are from three different countries, none in the U.S. How have y'all just managed to build chemistry and kind of have that cohesiveness with all these guys coming from so many different backgrounds?
It was way easier than I expected, to be honest. Every one of my teammates is a great guy, and we figured things out pretty quick. Started building on our chemistry, on our game plan, and I felt like everything clicked from the first week, and we kept building on that.
Anything else for the student athletes? Thanks, guys. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Illinois head coach Brad Underwood will be with us in a few minutes. Joined now by Illinois head coach Brad Underwood. They face Kentucky tomorrow at 4:15. Questions, please.
Brian Teague, Chicago State of Mind Sports. Will Riley mentioned yesterday that he credited some of the vets on the team for just the performance of the freshmen. What have you seen specifically from Kylan and Trey and even Ty leading up to this weekend?
Yeah, I say it many times when a head coach has to lead all the time, we're probably not going to be a very good team. When the players get to do that, it's really impactful. It means a lot to have, experience. There's Trey was an NCAA tournament member. Kylan's been through it. And just the ups and downs of a season. And, there's no perfect season. Every player is going to go through an up and down. Every team will. And just to have guys who've experienced that it means a lot. And it's, to Will's credit, he's a willing listener, because not everybody wants to hear that stuff all the time, but works both ways.
Paul Banks, the sportsbank.net. Brad, I know before you led this program, you were a follower of it. You were, emotionally invested in it. So I wanted to throw back to the last time these two teams played each other in the tournament in 1984. And it led to that rule change in which no team could then host an NCAA tournament on their home floor. Do you kind of remember that much about it? Opinions on it?
I don't. It's probably a really good rule. I think the game's grown kind of beyond that, even though, you could probably, find an argument. But I think the neutral site stuff's worked out pretty well. Obviously, must have been pretty impactful to create a rule change and do that. But I think that, again, television has just grown our game in so many different ways, and that's obviously one of them.
Steve McGargy, Associated Press. I believe your top 3 scores were all from outside the United States. You kind of touched on that last night regarding being here at camp, regarding the cussing and stuff. But what was your strategy in terms of rebuilding this roster during the off season, and just how did you were you able to kind of get those guys to come to Illinois? Yeah, and truthfully, the basketball world is a pretty small network of people, and it's not that big. And in Kasparas, we've known about Kasparas for a couple of years. Even though he's from Vilnius, Lithuania, he's been in Barcelona and played on a big stage for a long time. And everybody knew about Tommy and his brother, the 7-1 twins. So. It's a small world that way, and we go over every month, every 6 weeks. We're somewhere in Europe. Our staff, it fits our university. We have a very diverse university with a lot of international students. I love coaching them. I think there's a maturity and a love for the game that I have great appreciation for. And when we started building this team, a guy like Kasparas is very mature beyond his years. He's 18 years young, and yet he's 18 years old, and plays 30 sometimes with his maturity. Tommy's played against great players, and they've all had moments where they practice or play against great guys. So we felt like there was an advantage from that side of things. Will was a guy we saw late, and he classed up. But he's got a special gift. He's a very gifted offensive player, and we felt like it was a great opportunity for him with our strength and conditioning program and Adam Fletcher and the money we spend in nutrition for him to really develop, and they saw the same thing. So. We're continuing to recruit over there, and NIL has helped us be able to go get some of those top players, and we'll continue to be involved in that market.
Yeah, Brad, I think after the Duke game, there was a feeling that a season could go a number of ways. I guess, from your perspective, was there any fear that this group would roll over? And if there wasn't, what does it say about this team? No,
that's all you people that thought that and want to write about that. That's when you know your locker room. And, you had to know what, you guys look at results. I look at what led up to all of that. And that was the perfect storm. The sicknesses, the injuries, the culmination of not being able to practice, having Tommy 3 practices in really a 5-week period. But I never doubted their character, their resilience, their want to, and and then it was, in hindsight, maybe I wish I had made some of our defensive changes earlier, but I couldn't because we didn't have Tommy, and I didn't. But I think everybody else, wanted to write about all of that, but I not for 1 second did I ever doubt that. I knew we were the team that had played a lot of really quality opponents very well throughout the year and won a lot of games.
Is it hard to identify that type of spirit and mentality in recruiting? I mean, I imagine you've talked a lot about how much these guys love basketball, how competitive they are. I guess how do you evaluate that and know that you have a group that will be ready to get up off the mat over and over again? Well,
one, we personality test, so everybody in our program that comes into our program, we're going to test them before that. But again, it's a priority for us: competitiveness, teamwork, willing to work, not afraid of it. Those traits are really, really important to us. We've probably turned down as many guys as we take because of the results of some of those things. Willing to sacrifice, be a great teammate, all those things play into the recruiting process for us.
Coach, Kylan at 19, you've pretty much asked him to stand up and kind of be that leader for the team. How have you seen him just embrace that specifically?
Yeah, he's not afraid, and leadership is hard, and leadership is much, much harder today than it was years ago. Kids today, they get locked on their phones and they don't do anything except stare at it, and sometimes they don't communicate. Kylan's not afraid of that, and he's not afraid to tell teammates something sometimes that they don't want to hear. It took a little bit, because he's going through it as well as a first-year guy, a learning curve. But now that he's comfortable, and no one's ever doubted Kylan's want to win and his desire to win, and he puts in as much work as anybody, and so he's a natural leader. He's got a lot of natural things that allow him to be a great communicator.
One of the guys who maybe doesn't get as much attention as some of the scorers and, flashier names as Merez. And just, do you feel he is kind of an unsung hero? And then what does he do, not just, tangible, but what else does he give you that does not show up in a box score?
Yeah, in most years, Merez is a freshman in the Big Ten. The year he had, would have had him up for all Big Ten honors. This year's freshman class was spectacular in the league, and yet he's had his moments. He's been a consistent rebounder. He's been an elite defender. He's a guy that is not delusional. He's a guy that loves to listen and play, and he's gotten so much better. And so his impact on our team was very, very evident when we didn't have him. And he's as we've been able to play better here of late. It's a lot of that is our veterans. We're growing up, and now we get Merez back, and gives us a real chance to reach our ceiling.
Anything else for Coach? Go ahead.
Kentucky rebuilt its entire roster during the offseason. I think you have one guy back who played in the NCAA tournament for yourselves last year. How much is that kind of a testament to just this era of college basketball? Is it a little easier now to rebuild, or to kind of rebuild on the fly if necessary? Or?
Yeah. I was a junior college coach for a lot of years, so it's something I'm not familiar with. I think it's one of the things that, especially in Kentucky's, in Mark's case, taking over, a new job, I think that's probably going to be a lot of the norm in today's world. With new opportunities and having to rebuild a roster. But when you've got a storied program, and Mark had success at BYU, those things will fall into place, and he's done a tremendous job of putting that roster together and finding a way to play that he's very comfortable coaching, and they're very good at it.
Brad, I'm Mark Story from the Lexington Herald-Leader. So you brought Orlando back for a second go-around. What's that say about him, and what's that say about you, that you were willing to give him another, to bring him back?
Yeah, I love O, and I call him the GOAT. I mean, I think he's one of those guys that is unique. He's great for me, and if I have I don't know if you want to call it a weakness or a strength. I don't. It's your choice. But sometimes I coach the glass half empty all the time. O is always half full, and that's really good for me. And he's got great perspective. He's a magnet for people. He's a tremendous communicator. I put tremendous value in that. And I think one of the other things that doesn't go lightly with me, he makes me laugh. And he's always got a way about him. He's always in a good mood. Orlando never has a bad day. And I think there's tremendous value in that. And I have great appreciation for his knowledge of the game of basketball, but I also have tremendous value in who he is as a person and what he brings to me and my family and our program.
Coach, thank you. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.